Hey everybody, welcome back to the Plays and Fades YouTube channel. I'm your host Gordo Gambles and welcome back to our best bets video. This time for UFC 298, we have ourselves a massive pay-per-view, one that is star-studded from top to bottom and one that I'm really looking forward to on Saturday. For these best bets video, as always, we're going to break down some of my favorite bets on the entire card. Instead of forcing it into parlays and props, I actually just have money lines. I think I have 4 money lines for you guys today that I am personally playing myself and that can help us make some money on such a stacked pay-per-view. As always, these odds in this video is brought to you by CoolBet. Make sure to check them out using the link in the description down below. Use code Gordo, 200% deposit match up to $100. With that out of the way, show some love, hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel, and let's do this. And you know me, I'm not wasting any time. I want to go right to this main event. I'm going to go right down to Alexander Volkanovski, and I'm going to take him on the money line. I completely understand the new young buck in town. Topuria is a very terrifying guy. Great boxing, starting to have some very explosive maneuvers, and he is someone who may be a problem for this division, but a step too soon. I think if we looked at this line and we had Topuria plus 200, plus 250, that would get my attention, but when you're giving me Alexander Volkanovski, almost a pick him at minus 127 on CoolBet right now, he is literally one of the best fighters in the world, one of the best featherweights of all time, and one who has personally shown his levels against my favorite fighter of all time, Max Holloway, showing that there are different levels to this thing. Not only is his striking there, his ground game, but it's his IQ, his ability to win rounds and show Topuria that there are levels. A guy in Topuria who was dropped by Jai Herbert, a guy who was losing minutes at range to Bryce Mitchell, a guy who still has a lot to learn in the UFC. Now, yes, Topuria definitely has a chance to win, but saying that one of the greatest featherweights of all time only has a 55% chance to win this fight is completely absurd in my opinion. I do think he's the better minute winner. I do think his ability to mix it up, show versatility, and really show a different offensive skill set that Topuria's never seen before. Mixing in the kicks with the striking in there, even threatening some takedowns as well. Being a good, well-rounded mixed martial artist, I do like Alexander Volkanovski this week. Minus 127. I gotta take a shot on the old dog here. I do think he gets it done and shows everyone why he's one of the best in the world. Now that's a pretty high level, pretty technical affair. Let's throw it back to some low level stuff, some sloppy heavyweights here. I'm taking Marcos Rogerio de Lima, minus 137 on a CoolBet right now. It's a big boy fight, and it's one where if Justin Tafa goes out there, gets a round 1 KO, I'm not too surprised, but I think he's limited to that outcome. And that outcome to me is maybe a 30% outcome at most. And most of the time here, it's Rogerio de Lima being the better overall minute winner striker, better leg kicks, better ground game, better cardio, and overall better durability. Like the guy, yes, was knocked out by Derek Lewis, but he wasn't put out by one shot. He was bitter battered by accumulation with teeth knocked out. The guy's tough, the guy's durable, and the guy has more tools and paths to get done. I do think he should be a larger favorite against Tafa here, who although has a lot of power, is limited to round 1 success. The later the fight goes, the more this fight sees the ground, and the more leg kicks that Rogerio de Lima is able to land, the more he looks like a hindsight favorite, and the more I'm able to cash this bet. I like this line. I think it's playable up to minus 160, minus 170. He is a guy who I see winning more than the line entails, and although Tafa has his one-shot KO path, I think he's limited to that. Give me the guy with more paths that are going to get done. Give me Marcos Rogerio de Lima. You know what, actually, if that wasn't low level enough for you, let's go down to the lowest level fight in the card. I'm probably going to regret putting this online, but I'm taking my boy MingYang this week, minus 119. I know. He lost to Askar Mozarov. That is a big red flag. He's a very relatively unproven light heavyweight here. There's a lot of red flags on the guy, but I do think he is better than Ribeiro here. Ribeiro, a Brazilian who won Dana Contender Series, but was a plus 700 underdog in the process. He now makes his debut. He's going to be the shorter fighter, the less offensive fighter, and the guy who I think has the weaker chin. Yes, we've seen Zhang knocked out, but only by absolutely hellacious blows. He can take more of a beating than Ribeiro, who I have seen shell up 2 strikes in the past. Ribeiro doesn't take damage that well. MingYang, although front-loaded, is a guy who can continue to go forward. He will walk you down. He will look to land with you with vicious intent, and I do think he wins this fight more than the minus 119 price tag entails. It is a low-level affair. I know Ribeiro has a path, but I don't think this guy's UFC caliber. I don't like the way he reacts to punches. I don't like the way he has his striking defense head up high, and I do think MingYang can take advantage with his size, forward pressure, and overall versatility. This fight was supposed to be in China. This was supposed to be one where MingYang was supposed to be the hometown guy, and they're looking to get him a win. This guy's exciting, 100% finish rate. He's one where I think he gets another finish here. Give me MingYang, close to a pick-em, but I do think he should be a bit more favored than this. Now, those are some ugly bets, some ugly money lines, ones that I do think have more than the line entails, but this line is a little bit prettier here. Nakamura by submission, plus 245. He's facing a guy in Carlos Vera who isn't great, a guy who's making his UFC debut, a guy who has never been finished, though. And although Vera is going to be beaten in all areas, on the feet, in the grappling, and the speed, it's going to be Rinya's fight here. And the question is just how he gets it done. Vera has never been knocked out before. And although Randy Nakamura has a ton of power, good ground and pound, he's a grappler. And in grappler transitions, I've seen Vera give up his back, give up his neck, and choked out before. And I do think Nakamura can go out there, find a submission victory. At plus 245, we're cutting down a minus 1,300 favorite to plus 245. I do like this line here. I do think he's able to get a submission more than the line entails. And I do think he dominates Vera wherever this fight goes. I just hope he's able to tap him out in the process. And last but not least, my favorite underdog on the card is going to be Josh Quinlan this week. Plus 165, left-handed god's no joke. Danny Barlow does have that power, but he's limited to that. And I tried to fade him on Dana White Contender Series because of it. Although he has a ton of power with that left hand, not many other weapons, not many kicks, not much of a ground game, and we've seen him in his previous fights be taken down and exploited on the mat. Although Josh Quinlan's a decent striker, he also has a ground game, and I do think that the discrepancy in the ground game is larger for Quinlan than the advantage for Barlow on the feet. I do think Quinlan's able to take him down here, maybe rinse and repeat takedowns, and look like a hindsight favorite in this matchup. Shall he close the distance? Of course, I understand the risk of fading a guy with as much power as Barlow, but the guy with more minute winning on the ground, the guy with the ability to be a clinch fighter and win more minutes that way, is going to be a guy here in Quinlan. And at plus 165, I do think he should be, let's say, less of an underdog than the line entails. I like taking a dog shot on him this week. But with that, guys, that is 5 bets I gave for you guys in a short amount of time here, thanks to CoolBet. Make sure to hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel. One more time, I'm taking Alexander Volkanovski, Zhang MingYang, Marcos Rogério de Lima, Nakamura by submission, and Josh Quinlan. 5 bets I'm all like. If you want to see more, check me out on Twitter at GamblesGordo. But appreciate you guys tuning in. Wish you guys all the best of luck in all your betting endeavors this weekend. And let's make some money, guys.